I'm Keith Olbermann, and this is The Resistance. We may have just heard the most carefully crafted sentence structure in American political history, and that sentence structure has condemned Donald John Trump. According to its director, the FBI is, quote, investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government. Not possible links, not if there were links, links. Any links, period. The FBI's investigation is about the nature of the links. Director Comey used a caveat a minute at that hearing. He made no such disclaimers about links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government. To him, under oath, in front of Congress, they exist. Thus, the intelligence community is investigating links between the victorious presidential campaign and the Russians. Thus, the intelligence community has been investigating links between the victorious presidential campaign and the Russians since last July. Thus, the intelligence community will be investigating links between the victorious presidential campaign and the Russians indefinitely. No time frame, no end date. What's the usual length of such an investigation? There is no usually, says Comey. I firmly believe that almost any other American politician hearing these words, from the director of the FBI to the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, would have resigned the presidency before noon. I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. I also firmly believe that almost any other American politician hearing Comey's next words would have not just resigned the presidency before noon, but fled the country before nightfall. And that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts. Again, note carefully that grammar. To paraphrase the old insult, the links, we know what they are. We're now just arguing about the price. When Representative Himes of Connecticut came back to the point of coordination and collusion and asked if we should or should not dismiss it, Comey confirmed that his sentence structure, any links, was no accident. Comey answered, quote, all I can tell you is what we're investigating, which includes whether there was any coordination between people associated with the Trump campaign and the Russians. For Comey, keeping his cards not just close to his vest, but sealed inside the deck, these comments were extraordinary. And that was just the start of Donald Trump's first day of reckoning. Comey dismissed Trump's wiretap hoax. Quote, I have no information that supports those tweets. Comey said his bosses dismissed Trump's wiretap hoax. Quote, the department has no information that supports those tweets. Admiral Mike Rogers, the head of the NSA, dismissed the news gossip cited by the press secretary Spicer that the British surveyed Trump. Pressed by Mr. King of New York to agree with the former director of national intelligence Clapper that he had not seen proof of any collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, King got nothing more from Rogers and Comey than no comment. And Director Comey and Admiral Rogers repeatedly swatted away attempts by majority members like Chairman Nunes and Representative Gowdy to elevate any procedural leaks or their publication to the level of an investigation of a foreign government's efforts to alter the outcome of our elections, and the information they are investigating that a foreign government may have coordinated those efforts with the winning presidential campaign. And in terms of the optics, all this took place the same morning as a series of panicked, hysterical, chaotic tweets by Trump insisting the Democrats made up and pushed the Russian story as an excuse for running a terrible campaign. This story is fake news and everyone knows it. Quote, the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election, and that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts. The story is not fake news. The story was not made up by the Democrats. It is not a story. It is an investigation by the FBI, and its targets are Donald Trump's men. In short, Trump got nothing from Comey or Rogers or even any of the Republican congressmen backfilling on his behalf, who went so far as to imply that the Russians have always supported Republican presidential candidates. What's the big deal? Sure, like they supported Ronald Reagan. Nothing. There was nothing to keep Trump from sinking. The best news he got was that there is an investigation, but that it has not yet reached its conclusions. The best news that he got is that the drip, drip, drip of Trump and Russia and Trump, and what did Trump know and when did he know it, will continue indefinitely. That was his best news. That hearing could only have gone worse for Trump if Vladimir Putin, Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, and Vladimir Ilyich Lenin had been sworn in and confessed. In the past, Trump has claimed that his favorite motion picture of all time is the Orson Welles classic Citizen Kane. Might be true, might not be true. For all we know, he may never have seen it. But one piece of dialogue from that film kept playing in my head as I watched this hearing. The corrupt politician whom Kane has promised to lock up has discovered Kane's own corruption that will cost him the election. He offers Kane a way out, that he realizes he's so sick that you've got to go away for a year or two, but Kane cannot see the reality in front of his face, doesn't know it's over, doesn't save himself and his supporters from humiliation and disaster. And the corrupt politician then says to Kane, if it was anybody else, I'd say what's going to happen to you would be a lesson to you. Only you're going to need more than one lesson. And you're going to get more than one lesson. Were Trump smart, he would flee the country now. Resist. Peace.